Hey guys, welcome to Land Virtually. I'm Daniel Saltzman,
I'm Haley Howard.
and we just want to teach ourselves and just kind of let y'all know a little bit about who we are and what we're here to do. Yeah, do you want to go ahead and start, Haley, and just kind of let them know who you are?
Sure. Okay, so my name is Haley Howard. I am a real estate agent. I've been an agent for about 3.5 years. I've been wholesaling for actually longer, about 5 years. And I came from a customer service background. I worked at Sonic for 7 years. I decided that that wasn't for me, and neither was college. And I was like, hey, what can I do where it's more like marketing, more about real estate, stuff like that. So I decided to get into real estate. I found wholesaling, and I kind of never looked back. Got my license. I am on the accredited luxury home specialist board, and I've been recognized 2 years in a row for top 40 under 40 real estate agents. So I'm just looking to add value to you guys, and I'm super excited about this course. And go ahead, Dana.
Awesome. Yeah, so a little bit about my story is started back in 2018. I was a sales manager at 24 Hour Fitness, which I'm sure y'all are familiar with. It's a fitness company. Then I moved to a different state and, just kind of quit my job and just took a leap of faith. Took me 18 months to get my first deal. So I learned a lot, but what really changed is when I hired someone to, help me and guide me in the right direction. We can all watch YouTube. We can all do, get on Facebook. We can all get on Clubhouse nowadays. But the biggest thing is just getting that guidance, right? So that's really what, we're here to do, is get you to the next step, whether you're just getting started, whether you're scaling up. So yeah, so the biggest thing is, it's our vision and our goal to help other people get to where we're at. It's not easy, right? But it's a lot, it's a lot easier when you have coaches and other people to help you by your side. So yeah, so that's, my story, and Haley's story. And like I said, let's get started.
All right. So getting started, section one.
Awesome. So a lot of people may or may not know what wholesaling is. So that's really where we want to start is what is wholesaling, right? So in a nutshell, it's finding discounted deals. So what that really means is just finding deals that, are not retail, right? Meaning they're not on MLS, they're off market. So that's really what we focus on when it comes to vacant land. And that leads us to the next topic, which is working with distressed sellers. And those sellers typically are going through something, whether that's, they're behind on their taxes, they have liens, they inherit the property, or they just need money, for whatever reason, especially now in the pandemic. So do you have anything to add for those two?
Yeah, so basically, just to kind of sum it up in a nutshell of like kind of what is it. So basically, you're the matchmaker. You are the middleman. You are going to the seller and you're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, I would like to buy your property for $100,000. Let's just say that, for easy numbers, for $100,000. Say it's a land and maybe it's a couple acres. So then you're going to go find a buyer, which we will show you how to do both those things. And you're going to say, hey, Mr. Buyer or investor, I have this property that I think you might be interested in. You're going to give them the information and you're going to say, I can let it go for about 115. And they're going to say yes or no at that point. If they say yes, well, now you have your first wholesale deal. So basically, just to sum it up, you got a seller to agree to 100,000. You got a buyer to agree to 115. So that $15,000 will be the difference. That will be yours. And then you push it to title and all of that stuff. They clear liens, which we will teach you all of that stuff as well. So just to sum it up, you're the matchmaker. You're the middleman. You are the one finding the buyer, finding the seller, putting it together, and you make the middle income.
Yeah. And then the other one we have is flipping contracts to a buyer. So kind of like what she was saying is, whenever you get a seller and you are the middle man or middle woman, you have to find that buyer in order to, match, both the seller and the buyer together and then push it to title. So, essentially that's what it is. So also why land, you may be wondering. I mean, a lot of people teach houses. A lot of people say, hey, do houses, go to appointments, etc. We literally do what the name says. We do land virtually, okay? So land is less competitive, it's less saturated, meaning that there's not the same amount of people calling houses, right? So it's a lot easier for you to get on the phone with a seller and you be the first person to call, which is very unlikely for you when you're calling houses. There's higher conversion rates. So I remember when I first started land, my first contract came on my third or fourth call. With houses, I made thousands and thousands and thousands of calls. So it kind of, guided me in a different direction. It says, okay, if land takes me 4 calls and houses take me thousands and thousands of calls, why don't I just do land?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then so less hassle with houses. So whenever I started about 5 years ago, I started with houses. I thought that was going to be my bread and butter. But then when I found land, I'm like, wow, I don't have to deal with showings. I don't have to deal with tenants. I don't have to deal with lease backs. I don't have to deal with, emotional attachment, because there's not a lot of people who are emotionally attached to dirt. That's just the truth. So no one's going to say, hey, come and show me this dirt, for showing. So let's say maybe that there's an instance where there's a house and maybe their mother died or something like that. And that's the last thing they have with their mother. So they're emotionally attached to it. Well, with land, that's just not really the case. A lot of people aren't that emotionally attached to land. So whenever I found land, I was like, wow, this is a lot easier. So this is the truth. It's less saturated, less competitive, higher conversion rates, and just a less hassle. You don't have to deal with the 5 major things: foundation, roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, all of those things. Those aren't real when it comes to this. So those things you don't even have to worry about. Now there are some other things which we will go over, but overall, it really is way different. So that's why I've converted the way I think. And I started out with single families and stuff, and now I do majority land.